So we were thinking Flemeth is dead and we would like to do a memorial service for her, and we would love it if you could do the ceremony.
A memorial service for Flemeth? That is... I must admit it's not what I expected you to ask, but I can understand the sentiment. May I ask why you wish me to perform this ceremony?
Rook and I thought who better to honor Flemeth's memory than the current head of the Chantry. You have a way with words, Leliana, and we're sure you'd make the service as memorable as possible.
Yes, because nothing says remembrance like the divine preaching at the funeral. I do understand the sentiment, Morrigan, and I'm shocked you asked me. Wouldn't you prefer something a little more unconventional?
Not at all. While discussing an epic send-off for Flemeth, I suggested throwing eggs at whatever is left of her. I almost fell out of my chair and spit out a mouthful of ale when Morrigan mentioned having a traditional chantry service. Of course, she's too proud to ever say she would absolutely love to have a rendition of the Chant of Light and a choir.
No, Rook, I can admit that yes, I do believe my mother would have loved it. She was so fond of long-held traditions, after all. A traditional chant and a choir with the divine preaching, a grand display of faith and solemnity. Flemeth would have been absolutely thrilled.
Well, sometimes funerals are not just for the deceased, but also for the living. It's an opportunity for closure and healing. And I have a feeling Flemeth, as unique as she was, may appreciate the irony of a grand chantry ceremony in her name.
Oh, she would definitely find some amusement in the irony of it all. The great Flemeth receiving a chantry ceremony, surrounded by devout believers and priests singing the Chant of Light. It's a rather fitting farewell, in its own bizarre way, and one that I do wish to see done.
I still think a good round of chucking eggs at the remains would be more effective, if healing's what you're looking for. But I do think you're right, this is much more befitting of that harpy.
It's almost poetic, isn't it? The woman who spent her life defying the Chantry receiving a ceremony that goes against everything she stood for. I can almost picture the wry smile on her face as she looks down on us from the fade. I think I like this idea.
Oh, I can imagine her scoffing and rolling her eyes from the beyond. She'd probably mutter something about how even in death the Chantry still finds a way to impose itself upon her. It would be the ultimate tribute to her spirit. Will you help me do this for my mother, Leliana? Think on what that would mean for the Chantry. You know the tales of Flemeth, and that they were true.
Flemeth was not Andrestian. However, there are steps you can take to have her receive funerary rites. As her next of kin, you would be able to petition to have Flemeth recognized posthumously as Andrestian. She is dead, so it would fall onto you to act as Flemeth and carry out the steps in her name. You would be required to pay penance and would need to recite the Canticle of Transfigurations in its entirety and know the hymns for such an event. I could provide you a list of what you need to know if you are serious. Are you still interested in pursuing this, Morrigan?
I knew it! What did I tell you? They totally can declare someone Andrestian even in the grave. Seriously, Morrigan, you can't really be considering this. You really think it's worth it, all the trouble and having to act as Flemeth? Ooh, that's more than just a little disturbing.
'Tis not something I care to overthink, and I am not entirely fond of acting as the avatar of my mother. Fine. I will do this if it means giving my mother a proper funeral. However, I do believe it would be wise to have at least a few Templars on hand, just in case we do cause my mother's rage to manifest into a demon.
And speaking of Templars, weren't we going to ask King Alistair to attend? Wasn't he a Templar before he was recruited to the Grey Wardens?
Yes! Although he swears he was not, and knowing him, I cannot imagine he would have made for a very good Templar. According to him, his time spent among the Chantry was spent scouring pots, and that I can attest he is very good at.
Oh, and I imagine Alistair would find attending the ceremony very amusing, to say the least. Can I also assume the hero of Ferelden will be in attendance?
Of course. When I first told him that I wanted a traditional Andrestian funeral for Flemeth, he thought it in jest. Upon realizing how serious I was, he was concerned that my mind had become rattled from magic I may have encountered. He said he would attend, if only as a wellness check, so he can be certain I am still sane. Which has only led me to question my own sanity.
I don't blame him. I thought by the time we arrived here you would have changed your mind and decided that my first suggestion with throwing eggs at whatever is left of Flemeth was preferable. I just can't wrap my mind around how you, of all people, are willing to endure all this Chantry foolishness and doing so in the name of that old hag. No offense, Leliana, but really, I don't understand it.
I know it sounds absolutely absurd. I cannot believe my own willingness to do such a thing as to recite this Canticle of Transformations. And my warden is probably right in that it is disconcerting that I would be so eager to abandon my own long-held beliefs for this. And as much as your idea seems the saner solution, it still lacks a certain flair befitting of one such as my mother.
Doesn't seem so strange when you think about it. She was your mother, and no matter how strained the relationship, I'm sure some part of you wants closure.
Yes, and I will do whatever needs to be done to obtain it, even if I must besmirch what little dignity I have, and do the last thing I ever envisioned I would.
God damn it, Morrigan! You're gonna make me feel really guilty if I let you go through with this. I was raised by that lunatic too, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I can't let you do this all on your own. So if it means this much to you, I'll do it too, and we can both hate ourselves for it afterwards.
Rook, you have no idea how much I appreciate your readiness for the immolation of your own rationality, but I cannot allow you to take on the burden of Chantry indoctrination for this. At least one of us needs to remain unsullied by Chantry orthodoxy, and in this instance, I insist that has to be you.
You both sound like you're headed off to war.
You have no idea how much it feels like we are about to fight in a war for our sanity.
You really are enjoying this, aren't you, Leliana?
I admit I am. Just a little.
I'm glad at least one of us finds this so very amusing. Just know, if you have any hope that in my doing this I will somehow join the ranks of the Chantry faithful, you are to be greatly disappointed.
Oh, you can say that now, Morrigan, but we'll see. You never know. Maybe during this process you will find yourself more open to the possibility that the Maker is real and loves all his children, including you.
Please, Leliana, do you really want to do this now? I would rather the gloating over whatever this is. And do you honestly take me as someone so desperate for the love of a parental figure that I would ever find solace in the promise of an absentee one?
All I'm saying is, you wouldn't be the first non-believer that reluctantly found yourself in this predicament and found the Maker instead, even if only by accident.
Now that would have to be some accident. What a pair Flemeth and this Maker would be. A beautiful match made in the Fade. One took great pleasure in tormenting her children, and the other, well, he just couldn't be bothered enough to try to do anything about it.
That may actually explain quite a lot. You may have just accidentally stumbled on a truth for the ages.
I know, right? And, Morrigan, while we are here, shouldn't we see about making other arrangements that don't involve forcing you into self-flagellation? Maybe one that involves rabbit-eared swine.
Rabbit-eared swine? You mean nugs? You are talking about nugs?
My young protégé here has pointed out the horrific nug breeding operations that seem to have heightened in popularity during our travels, and wondered if there is some way we could offer our assistance in combating the inhumane practice. We thought who better to ask than you, considering your fondness for the creatures.
We passed 2 separate nug breeders just here in the city. Those poor creatures are kept in their own filth, packed in crates so small they can't even lift their little hands to feed themselves. I really wanted to stop and free them, but we have nowhere to put them, even if we do. And you know damn well the ones bred in captivity don't know how to survive when set free into the wild. It's heartbreaking.
Oh no, I didn't realize it has become such a problem. Not here. Those poor little creatures. Yes, we must organize a rescue operation. I cannot do so myself, but if you both are willing to go ahead and save them, and perhaps give the breeders a good scare while you do, I can arrange to have them moved to a better location.
I would be willing, and I know Rook will never let me hear the end of it if I do not assist her in this endeavor, as it is a matter she is so very passionate. However, I will be so very busy preparing myself to undergo the loss of my sanity in preparation for Flemeth's funeral. I doubt I will have time to do so.
Oh, come on, Morrigan. They are just so cute. And they have little hands. What's not to love about them? We can't just leave them there to suffer a short life in a disgusting crate, only to end up on the dinner plate of some fat-ass lord.
I'm sorry, Rook. It will take me so much time to study all this Chantry doctrine. I know about as much of it as you do, which is very little, I'm afraid. And if I am to get this right, it's going to take me time. Unless there could be some arrangement we could work out with the divine, perhaps.
You both go and do what you can to rescue as many of those poor sweet little nugs, and I will make sure that this funeral happens. Just keep this between us. And you'll still need to recite transfigurations. I may be the divine, but even I can't get you out of that.